Thank you very much for the kind introduction. In fact, I'm really honored to be able to meet so many distinguished guests tonight. Particularly, this is late in the evening, and you are so enthusiastic to come here to meet me. So I'm really honored to be able to talk to all of you. In fact, this is my first visit to Argentina after I have taken up the role as the Regional Directors for Americas based in New York. We have 3 offices in the US, in New York, Chicago, and also Los Angeles. And in the Latin America, we have 3 consultants based in Mexico, Chile, and also Brazil. And we have another agent here in Argentina, led by Luis. He helps us to promote our trade fairs and also many of our promotional activities. So I'm really glad to be able to meet all of you today, and I just want to update you with some of the latest development in Hong Kong. Hopefully that will bring some business opportunities to the Argentine companies here. Well, probably you may be aware that the economic development in China and also the rest of Asia is very impressive over the past years. We can see that the average economic growth in China is over 6% over the past few years, and that the economic development in the rest of Asia is also over 6%, whereas the global average is about 3%, and the developed countries, the economic growth can only be maintained at between 1 to 2%. So you can see that China and also the rest of Asia, they are really acting as the growth engine for the global economy. More impressively, China is offering a lot of business opportunities for the rest of the world. First of all, its economy has become the second largest in the world, just after the US, and it's also the largest trading nation in the world. Its total trading volume has surpassed that of the US to become the world's largest. And more importantly, the annual growth of the economy can be maintained at about 9% over the past decade. And the total trade increase is also maintained at over 9%. So traditionally, you may be aware that China was a very important production base. It manufactures a lot of the consumer goods sold to the international market. But now China, after all these economic development, is no longer just a production base, but more importantly, it has become a very important consumer market. Now a lot of the foreign goods, they are sold very well in the Chinese market. And obviously, a lot of the Argentine products can be sold to the Chinese market as well. And for example, the consumer goods retail sales in 2016 was up by more than 10%. So you can see that it's a very vibrant consumer market. And also the household final consumption expenditure was up by 14.5% in 1 year's time, between 2010 to 2015. Just looking at these figures, you appreciate how big the market in China is. For example, there are more than 1.3 billion mobile phone users. Practically everyone in China, they own his or her own mobile phone. And there are more than 700 million internet users. So that accounts for the fact that in China, e-commerce is getting very, very popular. A lot of the people, they are very iPhone or e-commerce savvy. They make their purchase of the daily goods through internet or making use of their mobile phone. And China is also the world's largest car market. More than 28 million cars were sold in 2016. And a lot of the people in China, particularly the middle-class income group, they are also keen to adopt the Western lifestyle. So they drink a lot of the wine from the Western countries, For example, between 2007 to 2016, the wine import volume was up by 28%. China also focuses a lot on technology and also services development. Particularly, the Chinese government is investing a lot on the R&D expenditure. For example, they try to put at least 2.5% of the GDP into research and development expenditure, so that they can have enough funding for the technology development in China. And a lot of the private enterprises, they are also in demand of different technology and also services. So that again opens up a tremendous business opportunity for overseas countries, particularly for those technology-related and service-oriented companies. And in doing business with China, Hong Kong is always playing a very important role as the gateway to the Chinese market. Most importantly, Hong Kong is able to help you to reduce the risk of doing business with China. Particularly for many overseas countries, the people there, they are not familiar with the Chinese culture, or they cannot speak the Chinese language. Then they encounter a lot of the difficulties to approach the Chinese market. And in that case, Hong Kong will be able to act as your perfect working partner, helping you to penetrate into the Chinese market in an effective manner. The three main factors that Hong Kong has is in terms of strong fundamentals, and also its ideal location and the dynamic people. All these are the advantages that Hong Kong can experience to help you penetrate into the Chinese market. For example, in terms of the ideal location, Hong Kong is situated in the very center of the Asia-Pacific region. So within 4 hours flying time, Hong Kong will be able to reach most of the major cities in Asia. Within 5 hours flying time, we are able to cover half of the world's population, with 1.3 billion in China and another 1.2 billion in India. So you can see that Hong Kong is located in a very important strategic location that can help you reach out to most of the major markets in Asia. Hong Kong has also strong fundamentals in the rule of law. For example, we have inherited the common law system from the UK, which many of you may be familiar with. So the rule of law will be able to enable the overseas companies to protect their contracts and also the intellectual property. So a lot of the international businessmen, they find it very comfortable to operate in Hong Kong because they can find proper protection for their business interests, particularly for intellectual properties. And there is a free flow of information, people, and also goods and capital. Hong Kong is regarded as the freest economy over the past 22 years by the Heritage Foundation. And Hong Kong is also one of the most competitive economy in the world. And we offers you a level playing field so that you can operate comfortably in Hong Kong without the threat of undue competition or without the threat of unfair treatment. Hong Kong is also a very vibrant economy. The IMD from Switzerland, it has ranked Hong Kong as the world's most competitive economy over the past 2 years. And our economic development has also outperformed many other advanced economies in the world. As you can see, the GDP growth in Hong Kong has been maintained at between 1 to 3%. That is comparable to many advanced economies in the world. I think one of the greatest attractions of Hong Kong is the low and simple tax regime. For example, in Hong Kong, the profit tax is only 16.5%, and the personal income tax maximum is only 15%. Comparing with many other countries, our tax level is among the lowest in the world. More importantly, we don't have a complicated tax system. Apart from the profit tax and the personal income tax, practically you don't need to pay any tax at all. We don't have any sales tax or any value-added tax. So the tax system in Hong Kong is very simple and also is a very low level. I think most importantly, the dynamic people in Hong Kong is able to help you to promote your business to China, because the businessmen in Hong Kong, they are experienced in operating in China. Since China opens up its economy, the Hong Kong businessmen have been working in China, building up their business network in China. So by working with a Hong Kong partner, you'll be comfortable that you can be able to penetrate into the Chinese market in an effective manner with the help of the Hong Kong businessmen. And Hong Kong is able to maintain a global business hub because Hong Kong, as I mentioned earlier, is right in the center of the Asia-Pacific region, and it is able to reach out to most of the important markets in Asia. So that's why a lot of the international companies, they establish their branch offices or even regional headquarters in Hong Kong. By 2016, more than 3,700 international companies, they have established their regional headquarters or branch offices in Hong Kong. We also maintain a very close connection with the international markets. More than 30 overseas business chambers have established in Hong Kong. More importantly, Hong Kong is an important financial center. For example, a lot of the IPOs, they are carried out in Hong Kong, particularly for companies from China. Now, more than 2/3 of the stocks in our stock exchange market, they are somehow related with China. They either are set up by Chinese companies in Hong Kong, or their parent companies are originated from China. And we also became Asia's second largest private equity center and the second largest foreign exchange market. In terms of foreign direct investment, Hong Kong also plays a very important role. For example, we are Asia's top foreign direct investment destination and the world's second largest destination for such investment as well. And we are Asia's #3 foreign direct investment source, particularly in conjunction with the investment to and from China. Hong Kong is playing a very important role. For example, over 60% of mainland's outward investment, it goes through Hong Kong, because a lot of the Chinese companies, they find it more convenient to remit their money to overseas markets through Hong Kong. And Hong Kong maintains its important role as the logistics and maritime hub. For example, so far Hong Kong is still the #1 air cargo hub. We handle more than 4.5 million tons of air cargo every year, and we are connected with more than 190 destinations around the world. In terms of the container port, we are also one of the busiest in the world, handling nearly 20 million 20 equivalent units of containers every year. Hong Kong also involves a lot in the infrastructure development projects. In Hong Kong alone, we have a lot of infrastructures. For example, we are now nearly completion of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, which is probably one of the longest cross-harbor bridge in the world. The total length is about 50 kilometers. It will help Hong Kong to get better connected with Macau and also Zhuhai, which is located on the western side of the Pearl River. So after its completion next year, we'll be able to drive to Macau or to the western side of the Pearl River in about half an hour's time. And Hong Kong is the regional trading hub as well. For example, we are the 6th largest exporter of product trade in 2016. And our total trade volume is about 1,000 billion US dollar or 1 trillion billion US dollar, making us the 7th largest trading economy in the world. Although Hong Kong is such a small city, yet we are really a very important trading hub in the world. Particularly, we are an important re-export center for China. A lot of the cargo, of course, they are re-exported into or out from China. Hong Kong is Asia's lifestyle trendsetter, particularly for a lot of the consumer goods, such as wine. We organize the wine fair, helping a lot of the international vineyards and wineries to promote their wine products to China and also to the rest of Asia. Similarly, we organize the Food Expo. Again, we help international companies to promote their food products to Asia. And more importantly, Hong Kong is a regional trading hub for technology products, particularly for intellectual property. Because Hong Kong has the rule of law, which helps to protect the intellectual property, so a lot of the international technology companies, they are willing to operate in Hong Kong so that they can enjoy the protection of their intellectual property, and eventually they want to promote their technology products into China or the rest of Asia. And as I mentioned earlier, Hong Kong is able to help you to reduce your risk or even manage your risk and resolve your dispute when there is any problem during your course of doing business with China or the rest of Asia. Hong Kong is a very important international arbitration center. In fact, a lot of the international businessmen, they try to specify in a contract saying that should any dispute arise, they would like to have the arbitration held in Hong Kong because they are more comfortable with the legal system in Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Trade Development Council, or Hong Kong TDC, we are a trade promotion organization for Hong Kong. It's a semi-government body, so we are a non-profit making organization. We are set up to help to promote the business relationship between Hong Kong and the international markets. So we try to provide a lot of information, and also we provide the business matching services so as to link the international businessmen with their partners from Hong Kong. We provide the integrated marketing solution to the international businessmen. For example, we have the product magazines, which keep overseas businessmen updated about the latest product supply trend from Hong Kong and from Asia. We also have the online marketplace on the internet so that the browsers can conveniently find the suppliers or business partners they want to identify. We also organize a lot of the world-class trade fairs, and we provide our services through the mobile applications as well. And we organize a lot of the trade fairs in Hong Kong. Most of them are world-class international trade shows. We are organizing more than 30 such international trade fairs every year. So every year we are attracting more than 37,000 exhibitors and over 760,000 buyers coming to our trade fairs every year. In fact, among the 30 plus trade shows we organize in Hong Kong, 11 of them are the largest of their kind in Asia, and about 9 of them are the largest of their kind in the world. Through our online marketplace, we are able to provide a lot of the business matching services because we have more than 1.7 million registered buyers and also more than 130,000 quality suppliers listed on our online platform. So you can conveniently find and locate a lot of these quality suppliers through the online marketplace that we supply. And our online marketplace is conducted in different languages, including Spanish. Because of the wide application of cell phone, so we also have our marketplace in the apps as well. So the international businessmen, they can easily make use of the cell phone and have access to most of the information and services that we provide. We publish a lot of the product magazines. As a matter of fact, we publish more than 20 product magazines, and they are distributed to the international buyers free of charge, so that we are having more than 5 million readers around the world every year. We also maintain an international network with more than 46 overseas offices around the world. In the US, we have offices in New York, Chicago, and also Los Angeles. And then in Latin America, we have consultant offices in Chile, Brazil, and also Mexico, and an agent in Argentina as well. So that concludes my brief presentation, and I would be happy to discuss with you further if you have any questions. Thank you very much.